front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. The Daily Trust newspaper for today has this front page. At the very top, Jonathan, National Assembly should consider best model of government for Nigeria. I think one of those arguments is that we don't need a bicameral legislation. Now, how does the National Assembly think about this one going forward? Well, anyway, these are the thoughts of Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan. Some of the members of the House of Representatives, just over 24 hours ago, proposed a single 6-year term for presidents and governors, and also proposed an idea for rotation. But their number tells you quite a lot about how unpopular that idea is within the House of Representatives, because less than 1/3 of the members came up with that idea. Whether it's going to gain traction or not remains to be seen. TINUBU under fire, the multi-front assault on facts during the 2023 Nigerian election. Is this an editorial piece? Yeah. Okay. You might want to take a look at this one. It's on the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. Minister seeks probe of Permanent Secretary over alleged sexual harassment, and that is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's a story that has been gaining a lot of traction on social media, but if you understand the person prosecuting this particular case, you will understand why it is going to make it on the front pages of the national dailies. And I must say, this is something that should not be tolerated, especially coming from high-ranking government officials, because it does set some kind of precedent. TINUBU may reshuffle cabinet, create new ministry. Some ministries to go. I will send bill on minimum wage to the National Assembly soon, according to the president, and that is something that was echoed in his speech for the June 12th Democracy Day commemoration. Some ministries to go. I think that stands out for me. What would they likely be? What does it go? I mean, you're familiar with some of these stories, yeah.
To create new ministry, I don't know which ministry though.
Maybe the mergers, of the existing, some of the existing will of course be resulting in new ministry.
People also understand that the ones that he created already are struggling to find their footing.
I wanted to say, because we haven't heard much about the blue economy, the creative. What is
the creative? I think there are quite a good number of them.
And creative economy.
Economy, yeah.
All right, we move on to the Daily Independence now, where there are quite a number of stories that made it to the front page. And I think the major story is dwelling on the president's speech as a reform economy. I won't turn my back on citizens. We are wondering if his back is not turned on us as it is already. And that's coming from TINUBU. He says he understands the economic difficulty Nigerians face. He's fine-tuning draft bills for minimum wage to National Assembly. Says Nigeria's democratic journey marked by triumphs and trials. And seeks $2.5 billion loan to execute Lagos Calabar Road. That's some amount. Yes. And to other stories, the failing of opposition parties to function, threat to democracy, says Atiku. APC desecrating democratic principles, Abiola's legacy and values. This is coming from the PDP. And to other stories, TINUBU asked security operatives to fish out killers of 50 farmers in Katsina. And Jonathan canvasses dilution of politics of region and religion. Says winner takes all politics inimical to unity, justice. 25 years of democracy has provided political stability. Coming from King Igwe. And let's sustain faith of our youth in our country's democracy. And that's coming from former Speaker and Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Bello Masari.
I mean, looking at some of these conversations, I'm interested to know what your take is on the whole proposal by the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. He did, put his weight on the idea of state police some time ago during an interaction. Now, evidently, this whole idea of restructuring the system is gaining a lot more ground. I mean, we've been here before several times in the past with not much to show for it, even on the back of the confab in 2014 and so on and so forth. Do you think that, you know, we're getting any closer to some sort of constitutional, you know, amendment that would give us a lot more than what we have right now with the federal system of government?
You know, as long as we have the same actors, we may not. Because the problem is not with this system or structure, it's how we operate it. Now, if you go down from the federal level, if you go down to state, you have the crisis. There are some states which I know, no matter how good you are, because you don't belong to a certain tribe, you will never become a governor. That's the truth about it. So what are you talking to me about restructuring? And I said that if you go to the market, whoever offers you a better price, you will take it. So that's as simple as it. And we have, I think in the last 25 years, there's hardly a single clause which we have not tested in that constitution. And even with the amendments, though, what happened? You know, we had a simple thing that during the last administration, look, state governors give local governments their money. Simple act. They refuse to do it. Up to now, they are holding tenaciously to it, and they would blame the federal government if the federal government, by any chance, holds even a single.
I mean, they did that with Executive Order 3,
exactly,
dragging the federal government to court.
The state governments can dissolve local government today, appoint their another chairman, you know, all those kind of things. So to me, it's not the constitution that bothers. It's have we even sat down to implement the provisions of the Constitution diligently. Period.
Right. All right, let's go back to the papers then.
We'll go back to the papers. This time we'll be looking at the Guardian newspaper. And it's leading with a story around the situation of the country. Hope betrayed at 31, it says. Citizens in dire straits, still in search of democratic ideals. Dividend.
Sounds harsh, but it's the reality. It's the
basically.
reality.
It does appear that the only person cheering on a day like this is the president waving that flag on a democratic part. And to other headlines on the front page, I understand our economic difficulties. You don't. Atiku tells TINUBU. And Labour rules out timeline for new minimum wage, expect 6 figures, whatever that is, really. And council autonomy. Afenifere says Tinubu's playing to the gallery, suits diversionary and hypocritical. Truth under fire, the multi-front assaults on facts during the 2023 general election. That's a news analysis. And the federal government needs 15 trillion to execute 260 road projects, says Governor Umahi. When figures come out of the mouth of this minister, it scares you to your bone marrows. You know how much you said about the Lagos.
You know what? One day we're so broke we can't afford certain things, and the next minute it appears we have monies for these white elephant projects.
In 5 months, 2.2 billion.
Yes.
Dollars.
Dollars, yeah.
Wow. So imagine that in trillion naira.
All right, the Punch newspaper is next.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. Supreme Court begins sitting as states counter federal government on local government funds. In one sentence, you get a sense that they're all on board trying to provide solutions, right? But in another development, you just understand that they're almost like, you know, everybody's on his own. The federal government is on their own, trying to do their own thing, and the states are also trying to do their own things. But they all want us to believe that, you know, they're fighting for the local governments, because why would the governors stand in the way of local government autonomy, especially financial autonomy?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling, to say the least.
They want to be re-elected. You know, most of them. You hold the local government, you hold.
Yeah, exactly. And the funds are the gateway.
Which you
to
not
control.
Account. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Dangote Refinery commences PMS supply July, so they moved up the timeline a bit. By 1 month. Listen, wish them all the best, because first of all, it's a domestic company, but second of all, is the impact it is going to have on the supply chain, which is a welcome development in any way, shape, or form that you take a look at it. Lagos Calabar Highway, federal government reroutes mega project slashes lanes to 6. You know the thing about this whole planning this, planning that?
Yeah,
it's as if, you know, they're always second guessing the plan, the initial plan in the first place. Anyway, details on the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper. The big story on the front page, I beg your pardon, the Punch newspaper. You can't blame me, I'm from Daily Trust. Democracy Day, TINUBU hails Abiola, others warns against anti-democratic forces. The president vows to preserve democracy, appeal with Nigerians over economic hardship. And I think that picture is from the disaster in Malawi. As the president, AU mourned Malawi's vice president, others killed in that plane crash. In other news, UK Varsity offers expelled Nigerian students flight support.
Why not augment that school fees?
There's no money for school fees, but we can pay for your flight ticket back home.
Even if they pay, they waive it now. What happens next session?
Yeah, so there you have it. A sad development, really.
Yeah,
Lagos urges caution as cholera kills 560 hospitalized. Yes, this development happened. And the rainy season is here, so
you expect Lagos. Which is densely
and
populated.
Those slum areas.
But the interesting news here for different would be the reassurance by the Dangote refinery. It does appear that we are drawing closer.
Yeah, actually, at least if Port Harcourt is not coming up,
and let's look at the dichotomy there. When the public sector, i.e. the government, says Port Harcourt refinery is going to come up this month or next month,
in 2 weeks,
you know, you scratch your head, you just know that it's going to take longer. But when Dangote says it, you know, we're kind of confident because we know it's privately.
It's private, and he has put in his money, so he wants to reap his.
And I think this hope is also tied to the fact that diesel and aviation fuel are already in the market.
Exactly.
So we have cause to actually believe that they're actually going to be
exporting the jet oil.
That's right.
I mean, in private, when it comes to private equity, stakeholders really hold, you know, the people running the business accountable. But when it comes to public sector, you know,
we feel we are scared of
almost
confronting
it's almost anything.
We basically should. And I think we also saw stories there of Atiku side by side with the PDP. Blaming this government for stifling opposition. I think the Nigerian experience is different.
It's not the government. It's the opposition.
Yeah,
exactly. Even the PDP is.
I mean, we saw some of them who were staunchly against the TINUBU administration or the TINUBU candidates even emerging victorious in 2023. Now, apparently, holding brief for the government and switching lanes.
I mean, spokesperson to the opposition campaigns have practically become spokesperson to this government. You know, effectively, promoting what they preached against, if you like. Well, that's the much that this segment of the program would bring to you. The program continues. You don't have to go away, but we would have to let the veteran catch his breath for the morning and be part of this democratic journey. You know, he was in the field taking tear gas in the heydays, and it's time for him to rest, and he deserves. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for finding time to come to the studio.
Happy Democracy Day.
Interesting. I hope there's something to share about.
Well, you
maybe we'll wait and see. During the break, perhaps Mala has a little bit of a package for us.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, this show continues. Please don't go away.